What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today, and welcome to the USS George Washington. Welcome to Top Deck. This is a very, very unique track, which is essentially a Supercross track that is just on top of a ship, on a boat, whichever you want to refer to it as. Created by Shady Wadey with the help of a whole different bunch of people, like so many people to list that helped out here. JS Robinson, Burrito, Fat Muppet, Endo, the State Line team, a whole different bunch of people helping in various ways to try and bring this to life. I'm very, very excited to try it out. I'm going to ride the 250 for a change today because the scaling does look a little bit on the small side, but again, this is just really impressive stuff and incredibly unique, so I'm very excited to give it a go. Alright, so we start off spawned on the back end of the ship, and what I like out of this is they've not just done a track and that's it and left it as that. There is some freestyle ramps dotted about at various ends. I mean, what do we do? Just like step up onto here. Oh, go on, can we drop in? Oh, like, even things like that, that's bloody cool. I may have jumped the wrong way completely, but you see what I mean. It's a little step up slash finish. Oh no, that's the finish line. Oh, that gives me like reflex vibe hitting a an actual ramp. Now I imagine that if you try hitting these objects too fast, then you may get some crazy MX bikes moments. Man, this is a very sharp track. I'm going to have to be very careful here. It looks like there's not a whole lot of room for error, and if I do go flying off the map, I do apologise. Now, I want to say that the reason I'm riding the 250 today is because I just feel like I could do with the practice a little bit more. Obviously, the 450s is my main focus for this year in the Aerial Championship, but I am also doing 250s in NA, and whilst in the last round at Arlington, I was very happy with my speed. It's just the consistency was definitely lacking again. You know, there was a lot of silly mistakes in there. I'm not sure if I could have been in a chance for winning the overall. I did get second overall, spoilers alert if you've not watched the all three of the main events yet. But Moto 1, or main event 1 I should say, make sure I word things correctly. Yeah, main event 1 I was pretty down horrendous off the start and just getting tangled up in people, and I found that it's actually 250s are weird because you have to hit everything so fast and precise that if you want to shift lines ever so slightly to try and make a pass on someone, it's incredibly... I'm stuck. Please. Get me out of here, go banners. Please. Thank you. It's incredibly difficult to like try and pass someone because you have to go off of the main line, which is always going to be the fastest line on a 250. Whereas I feel like on a 450, you've got the chance to hug the insides a bit more or cut down in a corner and try and go underneath someone. Very, very difficult to do on the 250s. So I just want some more practice in general, and of what it will improve too much, I'm not too sure. But oh my god, this is such a hard track. Holy. I didn't expect this to be this technical straight off the rip. So let me try and do a lap or two without completely wadding myself. Now that I kind of know where I'm going, this jump's bigger than it was last lap. Lovely stuff. Let's try the inside here. Little token gesture of an inside rut there. I appreciate it. And some more ruts going into here. Now, I think off the top of my head, the only Shady Wadey track I've played might have been a free ride track. I generally can't think of any others. I'm probably very wrong. I've probably covered a few from him, but I've done so many videos on so many tracks at this point, it's very hard for me to keep up with them all. But I don't think I've ever done a Supercross track by him, which is the important thing. So we're going to kind of be judging this for the very first time. I do like that all the jumps do seem to be quite bootery. Like they're quite, they're very, very sharp. They're quite short up faces, but very steep up faces. And I think I can definitely triple that. Oh, I got to turn around. I got to try and do this one. Let's spin her around here. Like, there's no room for error here. Like, I'm hoping this plane doesn't have collisions. Please don't. I say plane, it's like a bloody fighter jet. Harrier, let's call it a Harrier, Call of Duty, whatever you want to call it. All of you Americans are going to hate me for all of the incorrect terminology here. But, right, let's send it this time. Oh, I've overjumped it this time. But, there we go. Better to overjump it than come up a little bit short. And then this part of the track really opens itself up. If we look out over to the back end of the ship over here, we've got a whole bunch of like freestyle jumps again. Got a little bit of it's a wall ride here to my right. It is. No-namers Valor making themselves always known in the free riding community. As you can see, this is why I don't do free ride. Let me just jump back on the track to save myself any embarrassments. Hop on here, over here. There we go. I just like looking at all the little little, not Easter eggs as such, but just looking at all the detail and all of the, like, let's call them sponsors, you know what I mean, like logos. There's Smokey. Where's that man been? I saw someone do a funny post the other day. It was like, we're looking for Smokey, not spotted since like December, blah blah blah. I hope Smokey's doing all right. Yeah, I've not heard from him in a very long time. I think someone said that he's got a different job in this, I say real life. Obviously, he exists in real life anyway, but apparently he's got a new job that he's focusing on quite a lot. So hope he's doing good. Hope we get him back in the scene at some point. I am actually doing incredibly horrendous around here, which I feel bad for, because I feel like I do this on a few tracks here and there where I'm feeling a little bit, like, not rusty, because I literally played the game yesterday for probably like 4 hours combined, but, you know, you have them days where you feel a little bit off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up for a bit, and I'm going to make a little bit of a cut, and I might show you just me flowing for a lap or so. That could be quite good. It might even be the second I shut up talking, it might be in 3 laps time, but let me try and just throw in a lap here for you of me being semi-competent at the game. Well, there we go. There was an actual lap without wadding myself. Now, once you kind of get a little bit of a rhythm going, the track's quite straightforward. There is just one jump in particular, and I think you guys know exactly which one I'm talking about. This Supercross triple that I'm coming up to in a second, after I hit this big double and we turn left. This one, just to my left here, hella difficult to time. Like, the landing is so, like, steep, so sharp. You got to time it absolutely perfectly. And even though I feel like I downsided it well there, I still got a little bit of a kick on the go. Now, Shady does say that because how this track has been built and how height maps work in these games, you can only build from the ground up. So you can't build something like, let's just say in the shape of a tree, for example, where you've got like a really thin base and then it's wider at the top and the top is essentially floating. You can't do that. It's all got to start from somewhere. It can only go from like outwards in. It's just how height maps work on these games. You can't have like floating terrain unless you make it out of models. So obviously this whole ship itself is one massive model. We've got various models here and there, like what I'm riding over right now. But the terrain essentially, it goes down through the middle of the ship. And the reason that he's not been able to use the entirety of the ship is because the terrain would be sticking out from the outsides, and it kind of, you lose that immersion, so to speak. So if I was to fall off the side of like that terrain just there, I would probably fall through the entire ship. I mean, I'm not going to test it out because I have no desire to go back to the pits again. But quite complex stuff. It sounds like it took quite a few people working on to sort out. He's managed to cover up a bunch of it as well by working out all of the animated stuff. So you'll see the water out in distance. It's got a rippling effect. It's nice and animated as well, looking like Minecraft with the updated textures and shaders. Love to see that. And overall, just looking around, I mean, the model of the ship itself is really, really good. Like, there's a good level of detail on it. If you look over at the wall over there, it's not just like it's a flat grey picture and that's that. They've put time and effort into all of it, and I know they got the model somewhere like from an external website. It wasn't a case of they've made it themselves, but it's still resourcefulness nonetheless, which I'm 100% down for. And I'm kind of in the same boat as people when I do videos on Sim, for example, where I do like the don't fall tracks, let's just say, and I always see people saying we need tracks like this in MX bikes, and I agree. I think there's what's going on? What has just happened? I think there's sometimes a little bit of a lack of uniqueness in MX bikes. We just get, like, you know, standard tracks over and over again. There's nothing kind of weird and wonderful or branching out. You get the occasional like meme track, like we had just a maze released back in the day, but nothing like super difficult or super unique. It's kind of once in a blue moon that we do get those, and this is one of those occasions. I think Shady's kind of pushed the boundary a little bit here and stepped outside the box. If I'm being super critical, which I'm not sure what type of like feel he was going for, if he wanted it to be super technical or if it was meant to be a bit more on the easy side, I would say maybe mellow out the jump faces and landings just a tiny bit, so there's just that little bit more room for error, because I imagine that this sort of track, whilst fun for the top guys, I feel like this would really scare off some newer players to the game. I know it's probably not meant for like the proper new guys, but jumps like this, if we're trying to triple this, we're falling from God knows how high up, and look how short our landing is that we need to land on, you know. So even if that was extended just a tiny little bit into the corner, like flattened out just a tiny bit, I think it would make the whole flow, like the whole track, flow much better. And Shady's kind of thrown himself in it now because he's released something that as good as this. Now we got to kind of expect it every single time. It's one of the things. It's like if you race in IRL and you have like the race of your life, and it's like, well, crap. Now I know that I can ride like that. I've got to ride like that every time now. I can't go back to what I was. And kind of the same thing here with tracks. It's fun being in my position and seeing track creators like skills and knowledge just grow throughout time with all their tracks. I think Higo, who helped work on this in some aspect, he is a prime example of someone that came from, you know, one of them typical first tracks where it wasn't anything particularly amazing, but each release has got better and better and better, and obviously he's got to the point where he's able to get tracks on the MX Bikes shop because his tracks are just that high quality. And I love seeing that. I love seeing people grow and improve upon their skills, and it certainly makes my life easier as a content creator, because let's be honest, how many of you would scroll through your YouTube recommended, see a bloody motocross track on top of a a ship and not click on it? So hopefully you've not been left disappointed at all. Now I will say that I'm gonna have a slightly shorter video today than what I usually would. Sole reason being is the time for me right now is 7:21 PM on Saturday evening, and in 9 minutes time the AMA Supercross qualifying starts. So yeah, I've cut this a little bit short, but I've been a bit of a busy boy today, as I seem to have been for like the last month or so. I feel like I'm always doing something, but I hope you don't mind the shorter video. And if you want to obviously give this track a go yourself, it's going to be in the description as always. The track is free, so it's not something you got to pay for. Don't worry about it. I've seen some people saying that they're having trouble getting the track to show up in game. When I downloaded it, it downloaded as the file name was top plus deck. If you delete the plus and just add a space, so it's just top space deck and that's it, .pkz, then drop it into your game, it should show up no problem at all, because I had that issue and I had to go and change that myself. But look, as you can see now, as I'm spinning more and more laps and I'm starting to get a flow and learning my lines, it's all coming together now. Definitely struggled in those earlier laps, and that dragon back there is even still like kind of technical, because you can't go too fast, you can't go too slow, you'll get out of rhythm. Like, it's quite a skinny track as well, which I know he's had to do to fit it all on where he can, but I actually really enjoy this, and this probably isn't the last time I'm going to play this track. I imagine I'll come back to this, probably do it in a live stream as well with some of you guys. I do want to like get back onto the whole midweek public lobby stuff and just get a bunch of you guys in servers and ride some weird and wonderful tracks and bikes that usually don't see much love. I feel like it's the best way of keeping the game nice and exciting, along with the pit bikes on that Hurren track that I covered the other day as well. But I think that's probably going to do it for me. You get the idea. It's about 50-ish or so second lap times. I'm sure you can get sub 50, probably like 46s, something like that, if you're on an absolute burner. But massive shout out to Shady and the boys for getting all this together, and hopefully there's nobody that was played a major role in this that I've left out. If so, I do apologise. And I think this is just one of them things. It's another one of them, not groundbreaking in terms of like it's never going to be achieved again to the same level, but groundbreaking in terms of imagination, showing you what you can do if you put the time and effort into it. So I very much look forward to seeing what we're going to get in the future of MX Bikes. I hope we get some more weird and wonderful stuff, tracks like the don't fall stuff where you're high above the map, and if you make a mistake and fall off, you've got to restart from the beginning, and so on and so forth. But well, I can't ask for too much. I can't make any tracks myself, so to be honest, I'll be impressed with whatever gets thrown my way. So if you have enjoyed this video, If I could ask you to drop a like on the video, I'd greatly appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy what you're seeing. I post almost every single day. Don't quote me on that, because sometimes I have a little bit of a breather. But have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you guys are up to. I will catch you in tomorrow's video, if there is one. Peace.